y'all, it's TxStampin Sharon. On today's video, I was only gonna make one card and then I was like, we're gonna make three. I had so much fun with this layout. I hope that it inspires you. I hope that you pull out some of your designer series papers, your circle punches, and have a great time making these cards. If you currently do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be honored to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can find out how to contact me, my store, my blog, how to sign up for my newsletter, all of that below the video. Hey, while you're down there, why don't you go ahead and subscribe while you're there? Hit that notification bell and you'll be notified every time I upload a video or I go live on YouTube. Let's make some cards. I realized that I had not played with Floral Essence in a long time. So I decided to pull it out and help me make some quick, easy cards. Having all your supplies ready when you're making kind of an assembly line is very helpful. So I have 3 card bases for my 3 cards. I have Real Red, Basic Black, and Daffodil Delight. They are all at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored them at 4 1/4. I have 3 pieces of Basic White that are all the same. These are going to go on the inside of my card. They are 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then I pulled out my Scripty embossing folder. You could use any embossing folder, but I love this one. And so I went over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I embossed 3 layers. All 3 measure the same. They are all 4 inches by 5 1/4, and these will go on the front. I have fallen in love with the True Love Designer Series papers. I love the different patterns. At first I was like, oh, that's a lot of coloring, but I have made cards that I don't have to color like today. But I just love these papers and they're just classy, okay? They're just classy. So this is what we're using today, and we're only using little bits of it. We are using strips that are 1 inch by 5 1/4. I have 3 different patterns. You can flip them over, do whatever you want. I also have 3 strips of cardstock that all measure about 1/2. It doesn't matter on this one, but they are all 5 1/4, but these are all pretty close to 1/2 inch. And I have some scraps of each of my card bases. So I have Basic Black, Daffodil Delight, and Real Red. For my tools, I'm using 2 circle punches that are 2 inch by 2 1/4. I love punches. Punches make things so much easier. And then I am using the matte black dots, which I love these things. They are just classy. So let's start our assembly process. So the first thing I like to do is go ahead and decide which side you want. I want the other side to be showing. So I'm going to add some adhesive along one side. And then I'm just going to mat it on my Daffodil Delight 1/2 inch strip. And then we're going to take some liquid glue . And we're going to add it to our embossed layer. And we're going to line it up just like that on the edge, kind of like a book binding is what it reminds me of. A little bit of that glue squished out there. And then we're going to add some liquid glue on the back. Then we're going to flip this over and we're going to add it to our card front. Looking classy already. This piece is for the inside. So we're going to do some stamping, and I've pulled in my Memento and my Daffodil Delight for this card. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment. And I'm going to stamp my little flower. And since I know I'm going to make 2 more cards, I'm going to go ahead and continuing with inking up my sentiment. But I better leave myself some room. So we're going to do it like this. I'm going to take my 2-inch punch and I'm going to punch out each of my sentiments. For my flower, I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut around and cut out my flower with my snips. You know, not all stamp sets come with bundles, and so that's when it's very helpful to just grab those snips and cut it out yourself. While I still have my scrap paper here, I'm going to grab my Real Red ink pad and I'm going to stamp a flower. I'm going to clean my stamp with my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist. This is really my favorite everyday cleaner. And I'm going to grab my memento and I'm going to stamp another flower and I'm going to stamp it in black. Who knew you could do black flowers? But that True Love Designer Series paper has black flowers, doesn't it? Black and white, very classy. I'm going to take the center of the flowers and I'm just going to stamp the center on the Daffodil Delight and the Real Red one. I don't want to do it to the black one. I want to leave that more black and white. Let's see. So bringing this one back in, I'm going to grab my 2 1/4 inch circle punch and a scrap of basic black cardstock. I'm going to grab one of my sentiments that we've already punched out. We stamped and punched it out. I'm just going to adhere these 2 together with Seal. I think this one's Seal. Nope, this one's Seal Plus. And then we're going to take and add some liquid glue to the back because we are going to adhere this to, because we're going to adhere this to an embossed layer. Put that right there. We're going to grab some dimensionals and we're going to put these at the bottom. And we're going to butt that right up against our sentiment. Super cute. The only thing that we have to do now is to add a few of the matte black dots. Isn't that easy? Quick and easy. All right, let's assemble the other 2. So we're going to add our adhesive to the back. Line this up. And we're going to get our liquid glue again. I just loved the layout of these cards. And for those of you who do mystery stamping with me, this might look familiar. I did it for a mystery stamping and I was like, oh, I just love this. I'm just going to keep making more and make a video because it was such a fun one to do. Okay, so now we have our real red. We're getting our 2 1/4 inch punch again. I mean, whoops. It would help if I took the lid off, wouldn't it? I don't know, it works better that way. Okay, there we go. And we have our flower. Dimensionals at the bottom. I mean, nothing's classier than black and white and red, right? That's what I think. Some more black matte dots. So pretty. We do need to add our layer of basic white on the inside. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you could stamp your flower on the inside like that. I did that on my samples, so I forgot to do that, but that's another option for those of you who like to stamp on the inside. Okay, we have one more to go. Add our embossed layer. So I hope that these cards inspire you. Have all your materials ready and you can quickly go and assemble these 3 cards or more. I mean, it's a fun layout. It is a fun layout, and like I said, I made it for a mystery stamping and then I couldn't stand it. I had to keep making more. It was just too fun. There's that. And we have our strip. Let's see, this is going to be the one on the top. So I'm going to add some adhesive on one side. Add some liquid glue. Add another 2 1/4 inch punch, punched out circle. So fun. I hope that y'all have fun making this one because it really is. I mean, you could use it for any occasion. It's just a great layout. We have our flower and our dimensionals again, adding some more personality to this card. Just slide that right up against it. So fun, so much fun. You know, when you're making cards, they need to be elegant or nice, and they need to be fast sometimes. This takes care of you on all levels. Quick, elegant, pretty, all the things. Using that True Love Designer Series paper, just a smidgen, helps you make a bunch of these cards. So I hope that you loved this idea. If you do, leave me a comment below. I always love to read those comments with my morning cup of coffee and all that. I just want to say happy stamping, y'all.